Y'all, this dude did not show up to the event that he invited himself to. Like, you didn't have to come. I wasn't planning on having you there.
Baby, come and talk to me. You're the sea. Tryna show you love, it's that TLC. You're my favorite song.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. My name is Candice and this is Everything Beauty with Candice B. So this video is going to be a little bit different than what I've normally done. This is going to be a makeup chit chat and today's subject is let him go, sis. And what gave me the idea for this video is I was talking to someone. I'm not going to say if it's a friend or a family member, but she kind of going through some things right now and my solution is let him go, sis. So if you came across this video and you in a situationship or you got something going on, this is probably your sign to let him go, sis. But I'm not gonna just tell her business. We can get into some of the things that I have experienced as well, where I wish I had let him go a lot sooner than I had. So I'm just gonna sit here and do my makeup. I have some errands to run today, so I figured I'd turn the camera on and just chit chat with y'all while I do my makeup and then we can get into it. So let's start right now. Okay, so I have someone that I know. I was just on the phone with her and she is dating this guy. He's whining and dining her, taking her out. They going on trips. He's buying her stuff, buying her purses, all of this stuff. But he refuses to call her his girlfriend. Like, so she's not getting the title. And she's been doing this with this guy for like 6 months, but he's not trying to make her official. So he's telling her like, why do we even need to, you know, put labels on it, or we're having fun, right? And she's wanting, you know, she wants to be official. She's trying to date with a purpose, and her purpose is to get married. So in my experience, I think a guy already knows within like the first 6 months whether he wants to get married or not. And I don't understand why he's, you know, spending all this money. I guess she's gonna be like some kind of trophy or whatever, but a guy knows within 6 months whether he's gonna marry this girl or not. And the fact that he hasn't given her that title that she's looking for, like, this is my girlfriend, this is my lady, speaks volumes. Now, as many times as Steve Harvey has been married, I really did enjoy his book that he came out with, I don't know, like 15 years ago. It was called Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. Like, I may not agree with everything in that book, but one thing that he does say is that men do 3 things when they are serious about a woman. The first thing that they do is they provide. So men are natural born providers. They're hunters. That's what they're here on this planet to do, is to provide for their woman and for their family. And what I mean by that is, you know, they're going to, like, if you need help with something, if you know, behind on your car payments or whatever, they're supposed to come through for you. That's what men are supposed to do. Second, they're supposed to, or they will, if they like you, profess. And what that means is they're gonna profess their love for you very early on. They're gonna say, when you run into friends or whatever, this is my girlfriend, this is my lady, this is, you know, this is, he's gonna make sure that the world knows, I'm like stuttering, he's gonna make sure the world knows that you are his. And, you know, my friend and this dude, he's not letting the world know that. He's acting like he doesn't even care if, you know, if she goes out with other guys or not, which I know in my experience, if a guy really likes you, he don't want you going out with nobody else. That's just how they are. So she was asking me, like, what should I do? And that's when I was like, girl, let that man go. It is too many fish out here in the sea. And women, y'all got to realize, like, we are the prize. Men should be competing for our attention because, you know, we got the goods. We got what men want. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty other dudes out there that wants to be with you. And you wasting your time on one that's not even trying to give you the time of the day. I'm engaged now, but when I was dating, girl, I had me a whole basketball team. I had one that was playing and always had somebody on the bench just in case if one started acting up, I'll just move on to the next one. Because I always believe you can't drive a car without a spare tire. So, you know, you always gotta have your spare tire. Okay, so I'm not just gonna tell her business all up on this YouTube and not tell some of mine. So I just wanted to like share some stories about when I was in my dating, I was gonna say dating career, but you know, when I was on my dating journey, some things that I went through where I wish I had let him go a lot sooner than I had. And you know, I think as women, we tend to give people the benefit of the doubt and like try and, you know, get guys to prove themselves. And a lot of times we date potential instead of dating guys where they should be. So like you meet a guy and you're like, oh, he could be really great one day, but he's not right now. A lot of women tend to stick by thinking, oh, you know, I'm gonna stick by him and just wait until he finally reaches that potential and it's gonna be good. And most of the time that don't always happen. What they do is they finally reach their potential and then they would leave you, girl. So date men where they are, girl. If they just got potential, move on. Let me grab a sponge because I forgot, and then we'll get into my business. Okay. So I have like 3 experiences that come to mind where I should have left a lot sooner than I actually did. And the first one, I'm gonna take it all the way back to my very first boyfriend. So I had my first boyfriend at 18, y'all. I did not date in high school. My dad was just, he was not going for it. He was like, boys and books do not match. Ain't no dating up in here. So when I got to college, I got my first little boyfriend, okay? And this guy, I'm in college, like 2 hours away. I went to San Diego State. He lived in LA, but he like wasn't in school. He had the potential to be something great one day, but he just was not trying to do it, y'all. He didn't want to go to school. He just wanted to work part-time at his job. And you know, that was frustrating me because I've always been very ambitious. I always, you know, wanted to be something, make sure I'm like making money. I always had a dream of like wearing a suit and working in corporate and like being like that high-powered something. And this dude just didn't have it, y'all. So I stayed with him for like 3 years and trying to encourage him and, you know, be by his side and encourage him to just go to school and just start figuring out what he wanted to do. He just didn't. And it took me like 3 years where I was kind of like, this is not gonna work. I'm almost out of school now and I'm gonna want somebody that's on my same level. And this was back at the time, y'all, when I was like, I'm gonna have kids by 25, which I'm well past that and I ain't got no kids. So he wasn't fitting into my timeline, so I had to let him go. Okay, so another experience, I met this one guy. He was very nice. I met him on like, I think they called it like Black Tinder or whatever. And this was before Tinder became like that super hookup site. I got out way before that because that's not what I was trying to do. So I met him. He was very nice. He was very adventurous. He liked to travel and all of this stuff, but he wasn't always very like kind. And what I mean by that is like he shoot, how do I even say it? Like he liked to buy like luxury like items, bags, backpacks, all that kind of stuff. He was very into the labels and just like showing off his money. And to me, I don't, you know, I think I see wealthy people, they wear labels, but they're not like all over their body and all of this stuff. I feel like broke people do that kind of stuff. And I don't really care about labels or anything like that. So he would point out like, oh, I just bought this Louis Vuitton backpack. What do you think about it? And I'm like, yeah, it's nice. And he would ask me like, can you even afford something like this? And I would be like, I ain't gonna say the word I was thinking, but I was just like, dude, don't try and put me down just because I don't care about luxury items and all that stuff. Yeah, I would like something one day, but it wasn't like a priority for me. And I was very early into my career, so I wasn't making that much like that. But he would like to, you know, say little stuff like that, like, oh, you probably can't even afford this. But he was fun to be around. And, you know, I had my little intuition. It was kind of like, hey, girl, get away from here. And I ain't listen. I just, you know, women always have an intuition, and I didn't listen to mine. I was just like, this one is not gonna work. I already know it, but I was just hanging on because, hang on y'all. I was hanging on because he was so nice, and well, not always nice because, you know, he wasn't nice in that instance, but he was adventurous, he was outgoing, he was fun to talk to. Like, we had some really fun dates, but he just was not a kind dude. He just really wasn't what I wanted. So my last straw came when we had, or not we, I had a family event. And if y'all know me, I'm not finna be bringing no random dudes around. Y'all will never know. Y'all will think I am single until I am engaged. I just did not bring guys around my family like that, because I didn't want, you know, if we break up or whatever, the next holiday come around, what happened to so-and-so? What happened to whoever? I don't want to have to explain that. So I was never planning on bringing a guy around until I really got serious with him. But this is like the only time I made an exception. And it did not go right. So we had a family gathering. I don't remember what holiday it was, or I don't remember what it was, but he was supposed to meet my family, and I don't even remember inviting him. He invited himself, okay? Because like I said, that's just not my style. You're not gonna come around until I'm sure about you. And at that point, only one guy had met my family, which was the first guy, you know, but he invited himself and said he wanted to come, and I was like, okay, yeah, okay. So he must be, you know, feeling serious about me too. So okay, I'm gonna make an exception this time, because normally you're gonna be my little secret until I'm ready to show you off. And so the day comes, and whatever, the event started at whatever time. You know, black functions, you don't have to get their own time, but at least show up, you know. Y'all, this dude did not show up to the event that he invited himself to. Like, you didn't have to come. I wasn't planning on having you there. He did not show up. So I call him, like, and I'm glad, y'all, I did not tell my family that I was even bringing somebody, because I was not gonna let myself get embarrassed. And I think that was my intuition telling me, don't tell your family. Don't tell your family till it really happens. And so I call him and I'm like, hey, you know, what's going on? Like, where are you at? And he sounded all groggy and like hungover, which I was like, I knew he drank, but I wasn't expecting that. He sounds all groggy, and he's like, well, you should have called me earlier. It's too late. I gotta get myself together. Why you didn't call me? And I'm like, dude, you knew this event was happening. We talked about it. He talked about it all week and was like, oh, I'm so excited. I can't wait to meet your family. And I'm sitting up here like, okay, cool. And then come to find out, this dude don't even show up. Whew. I just hit pan on this powder, y'all. I love this powder so much. But anyway, so that was my last doggone straw with that one. At that point, I was like, okay, I didn't put up with enough. You're not gonna stand me up and then embarrass me like that. And thank goodness I was only embarrassed for myself, because I didn't tell my family. But yeah, if I can't rely on you for something very, very simple, then how am I supposed to rely on you when something serious happens, or there's a bigger event or whatever? Like, you ain't gonna be having me guessing, is he coming, is he ain't, is he with, is he not? No, we ain't doing that. So got rid of him, stopped talking to him. A couple months later, he did try and come back. I did go out on a dinner. And then I realized I just don't got the same feelings for you no more. I'm just done with you. So, you know, we went to a little seafood spot. I got my little crabs and my shrimps. And then I promptly said, please take me back home. Thank you. And don't call me no more. But I didn't say that till, you know, after I got off the car, because safety. Okay, so the next one that I met was maybe a few months after homeboy. I had to just take a break because I was just so outdone. I was just done with that dude. So next one I met was very successful, very nice. He wasn't really my type, but at this point I was kind of like, okay, I keep kind of going for these athletes, like, let me try and, you know, just date, I don't know, stuff. Let me just try and go outside my box. So he was really nice, y'all, and His issue was inconsistency. He would say he was gonna do something and then he didn't do it. And I will preface this and say he was like in the medical field, so of course I understand that sometimes emergencies come up that you don't have control over, but you know, you would say one thing and then you wouldn't do it, which just shows inconsistency to me. And of course, here I am just like trying to be nice, and I'll show y'all that. I'm trying to be nice and, you know, just be accommodating and understanding. Like I'm not gonna be full of drama or anything like that. And then that just went on for like months, y'all. He would say one thing, he wouldn't do one thing, and then I would just accept it and roll with it. I should have known by month 2 that he wasn't worth nothing. Like, girl, it went on for like 5 months where I was accepting this and just, you know, going with the punches, trying to be flexible. I stopped dating and stuff like that because I really like this one. So normally, like I said earlier in the video, you know, I like to have me a bench. I like to have me a spare tire when I'm doing this whole dating thing. But I was starting to feel like, okay, maybe this one might work. And y'all know what he did? This fool ghosted me, like disappeared, stopped answering my texts. And I was just like confused, like what happened? I was no drama, always chill, always flexible, and then this dude just up and disappeared, girl. He left like a thief in the night. And my thing is, girl, he already was not my type. How am I gonna let somebody who's not my type like do me like that? That was like, I was just so outdone. So after that, I decided to just go on and take me a little break. And then of course, like 2 months later, here he come. I'm sorry, you know, I was being a knucklehead and all of this. And here I am being stupid again, saying, oh, okay. And of course he started, you know, going out, we're going out, and he's being consistent. But of course, you know, I can hold a grudge, y'all. So I'm sitting up there at dinner at the steakhouse looking at him like, you ghosted me. So I just could not deal. I could not get over it. And even then I was just like, you know what, bro, just go ahead and clock out, okay? Because I'm not really feeling you like that no more. You've already you burned my trust. I do not trust you to not do that again. And I'm very proud of myself for not accepting that, even though I kind of did because I, you know, took it back. But I'm very proud of myself for being able to say, this is not going to work. Y'all, I'm all over the place with my makeup. I done went from my eyes to like my bronzer, and I'm gonna go back to my eyes, and then I'm gonna do my lips. I'm all over the place because I'm trying to talk and do my makeup at the same time, and it is just not working out for me. But I'm gonna keep on going with my story. Where did I leave off at though? I told him to clock out. Okay, so after that, I took maybe like 3 or 4 months off. Like I got off of Match, I got off of like all of those apps. I just got off because I was like, oh, I'm done. I'm gonna just focus on me. I'm gonna enjoy myself. I'm gonna hang out with my friends, with my family, and just worry about me. So later that summer, because I think he and I ended like right around my birthday, which is in May. So I took the summer off. I just enjoyed myself. And later on in the summer, I decided, okay, I'm ready to just give it another chance and just let's jump back in it. And you know, because at this point I think I'm 29 or 30. I think I'm 30, and I'm like, I do want to, you know, get married and stuff, and I'm not like a club person. So I'm like, where am I gonna meet these dudes? So that's why I got back online, and I did do Match.com because I felt like, you know, if you gotta pay for it, then maybe you might be higher quality, a higher value of a person, not of a person, but like of a potential suitor than just like something free like Tinder. So I got on Match.com, and like maybe, I think I was on there for like a week at the time. I ordered a 3-month subscription. And one of my things that I like to do, because girl, I was a professional dater at that point, one of the things that I like to do when I was meeting guys was for the very first like meetup date, like I didn't really want to do like a dinner and all of that stuff that required so much of my time. So I was more like, let's get a drink, let's go to a bar, get one drink, let's go get coffee, and then we can kind of decide from there, like if we vibing, if we like each other, then we can schedule like a real like kind of first date. The first one was more like a icebreaker. And so that was kind of like my rule. And this guy that I met, he wanted to meet up, and I was like, okay, you know, doing my normal thing, let's meet up for a drink or for coffee. And he was just like, no, like this is gonna be a date and I wanna take you out on a date. And so I was like, am I doing it again where I'm like not listening? And something just told me like, girl, like let's just do it. So I went out with him, and it was at a restaurant. And y'all, you know, like on Match, you can put your you can put like stuff about you, your interests, your favorite foods, and all of this stuff. And most guys, when I was like on Match, I'll put a whole novel of things about me so that you can kind of get to know me before you even have a chance to talk to me. And most guys would not read it, and first thing they would say is, you know, what do you like to do for fun? And I'm like, dude, I literally put a whole list of things that I like to do for fun. So you should, you know, ask me a question about one of my hobbies that I listed. But they wouldn't. Or what's your favorite food? And I'm like, dude, it's on my profile. So that would just annoy me. But this guy, you know, he wanted to do dinner, and then he chose the restaurant, which I really liked because I didn't have to do all of the planning myself. And this guy chose an Italian restaurant because that's my favorite type of food, is Italian. I love breads and pastas and bruschetta, y'all. I love me some Italian food. He actually read my profile that said I love Italian food and chose an Italian restaurant. I was just like, girl. So it's already starting off. This one is different. Oh yeah, I use this mascara. And we met at the restaurant because of course ain't nobody picking me up on the first date. You don't need to know where I live. But we met up at the restaurant. Food was good. Conversation was amazing. We talked for like, I don't know, like 3 hours, y'all. And the waiter had to come and tell us, hey, we closed 30 minutes ago. Like, y'all got to go. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like where did the time go? And I really enjoyed myself that night. So I was like, oh my God, he's already so different than what I'm used to. Hold on, before I finish the story, let me put this liner on because I don't want to stab myself in the eye. And so remember what I said at the very beginning of the video is that men will do 3 things, and I didn't tell you what the last thing was. And the last one is protect. So they provide, they profess, and then they protect. And so he was already like fulfilling the first 2. No, the first one. He provided, you know, he figured out what I liked and he provided that for me. And so another example was our second date or third date. I don't know, it was very early on. We were at a restaurant and we ran into somebody that he knew, I don't know, in a past life or whatever. We're still new to dating. And he introduced me. He's like, oh, this is my girlfriend Candice. And I was like, yo, girl, what? And that really like surprised me because it's not, you know, what I'm used to. Usually guys will run from it and play them games, you know, kind of like what my person that I know is going through. You know, and this one right away just professed like I am his girlfriend and that's that. Another thing I can think of with him is when we were out, like, or whenever we're out in general and we are like, you know, walking down the street or taking a stroll or whatever, he'll put me on the inside of the sidewalk and he walks street side, you know what I mean? And I really appreciated that because I don't think, well, okay, the guy before him kind of did that, but this guy that I had currently was really made an effort to make sure that I always, you know, walked on the inside of the sidewalk. You know, if I'm cold, he gave me his jacket. You know, he just did a really good job at making me feel protected and safe. So just to recap, like this guy did everything in Steve Harvey's book, like don't come after me, y'all, but he did those 3 things. He provided, he professed, and he protected me. And he did that very early on, which I really appreciated. And he made me very comfortable bringing him around my family. I felt like, okay, if I bring him around, I think he's gonna show up. I think he'll get along, which he did. And that's a whole nother story, because I brought him around Thanksgiving. Girl, that's the biggest holiday for my family, and y'all, that's always a lot of fun. And he just blended right on in. I got some stories, but I'm not gonna be embarrassing him like that on the internet. But he's a funny dude, y'all, and that's why he is my fiance. So we are getting married next year, and I'm really excited about it. All right, so I'm very happy with who I ended up with, because that's my baby. But I look back on certain things and I'm like, ooh, girl, if I had to do that all over again or be single at this point in my life, I would totally do things differently. But I'm so glad I don't have to. So to my loved one that's still going through this, like, you gonna get through it, girl. And if y'all are going through a situationship, you gonna get through it. Just know when to say when. And if you need to, let him go, sis. Okay, and so like a quick update on the dude before my fiance, the one that was tripping out with his inconsistencies. Girl, why for like the next few years he would like DM me on Facebook or try and find me and be like, hey, and I'd be like, bro, I'm in a relationship, get gone. And he would do that consistently every year, y'all, like trying to come back around. I was like, literally, like Beyonce, the best thing he never had. So yeah, so he finally disappeared when I told him, dude, I'm getting married, like, stop contacting me. Go on about your life. You had your chance, and now it's too late. Ooh, Lord, I hope I didn't tell too much of my business. And I'm definitely gonna have to tell my daddy not to watch this video, and maybe my fiance too, because they watch all of my videos, y'all. They my biggest fans. All right, y'all, so that is it for my makeup chit chat. If you want to see a tutorial on how I got this look, like an actual real tutorial, let me know down below in the comments. And have y'all ever experienced a situationship, or was there a time where you didn't let somebody go as soon as you should have? Let me know down in the comments. Let's have a chit chat about it, because you know, us as women, we all got to stick together and really like learn from each other and teach each other. But if you made it all the way to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the kind of content I'm bringing you every single week on my channel. Hit those notification bells so you're notified every time I upload a new video. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.